If you're the IRS, don't listen to this message, okay?
I just filed my taxes and I want to cry. I do not understand. Please, IRS, make me understand how I owe taxes.
One of the biggest complaints among Gen Z is the amount of tax they are paying. They tax about 30% of our paycheck to tax on average. Just think about that. With inflation skyrocketing and more Gen Z are entering the workforce, how are they expected to thrive in this economy? Most are expected to move out in their mid-20s. The rent is sky high. Grocery, it costs a fortune. And it feels like we are squeezed out from every angle. Today I'll be looking into some example on how some people are dealing with the IRS. And let me tell you, Gen Z, they're not happy about it.
I just filed my taxes.
Yeah.
And I want to cry. I do not understand. Please, IRS, make me understand how I owe taxes. Not to mention, the little return I was going to get from the state was immediately drained back out because of how much it costs to file my taxes.
I'm telling you.
There's only 12 states that get the direct file from the IRS, which is bullshit. I have the max amount taken out of my paycheck. I don't understand how I owe money. I don't do anything. I don't own anything. I can't afford to have anything. I can't even afford to rent an apartment because they're all over $1,500 a month. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's like everyone been saying last season was the first time they actually owe tax. Claiming zero on your W-4 isn't as effective as it used to be. What you really need to do right now is visit the IRS website and use the tax withholding estimate. While it is a decent tool, but if your income fluctuates throughout the year, it might not be super accurate, but it can help you figure out how much additional withholding you might need to add to your W-4 information, so you might not end up owing a lot at the end of the year. I did this last year, was you end up owing some, but it did help tremendously. If I do the calculation how much I was putting on the side for extra withholding, and if I didn't do that, I might end up owing a lot of money. Under the comment of this video, you see so many people recommending setting up a 401k because they're pre-tax retirement savvy. Contributing to one is going to reduce your taxable income. However, based on what this girl is talking, doesn't seem like she's making enough money to contribute significantly to a 401k. While you have to increase your pay to have more room for all those deductions, but if you're in a position to contribute, it can really lower your tax burden. Also, don't forget, if you get a raise or job change, make sure to update your withholding information, especially when your income change. If not, you're going to end up in a position where you're going to owe tax, and we don't want that. So let's move on to the next clip.
If you're the IRS, don't listen to this message, okay?
They're listening.
Okay, now that the IRS is gone. I owe money on my taxes this year. If you want to know, I only make $39,000 last year, and I owe money on my taxes, and I filled everything out correct. I'm just a teenage girl, so I'm assuming it's correct. But my partner was like, you know what? I can just give you the money, give you the money to pay your taxes. And I'm like, it's not that I don't have the money to pay the taxes. It's that I don't want to pay my taxes. Because that money should have been taken out already.
I know.
Why was it not? Why do I owe?
The education system has taught us geometry, algebra, but not how to file our taxes. We should have a tax system, tax class 1-on-1, especially from grade 9 to 12th grade. And why is everyone owing tax order suddenly in 2024? Owing when you make that amount 37,000 is criminal. Let's look at the comment on this video. I owe 1,200 at one point. I only make 23,000 that year, and I thought it was mistake, but not how to pay every cent. Wow, 1,200 on 23. The tax system can be really tricky. Sometimes it's not having enough money with help from your employer or getting hit with self-employment for some of you who are doing side gigs like Uber Eats and all that kind of stuff. But still, just like what happened last year to me, I was paying tax my employer. They withholding, tax from my paycheck every week. And I was setting aside money on extra withholding. And I thought I was, I thought I figured out the tax system. By the end of the year, I was surprised. That was my first year owing tax. And I thought I was withholding a lot of money. I thought I figured out the tax system. It can be really, really tricky. Here's the next comment. Between inflation and high tax, how are we all surviving? How are we all surviving? It is tough out here with both inflation and high tax. It's squeezing everyone's budget between cost of basic necessity like food and rent and wages is not keeping up with inflation. How are we gonna survive if tax is gonna treat us like this? When we all just trying to make the end meet, a lot of people are turning to side hustle, even cutting all unnecessary expenses, even moving back with their parents just to save money. It is crazy out here.
No, but like literally, how? Because ever since I was 18, I've always gotten like 1,500 to 1,000 back.
Okay.
And I made about the same amount of money that I made last year, that I made this year, that I claimed. And I made like $700 off of just my federal tax and then like an additional 100 and something off of my state tax. And this year, I'm going to owe 1,800. Like I haven't changed anything with my like tax documents. If anything, I feel like I should be getting more money back because I've started investing in a Roth IRA. And I even put that on my tax forms and it said, you don't qualify for a tax relief off of your Roth IRA. Like, I legitimately feel like I'm being gypped. Like, I'm confused. How do I owe $1,800?
In a previous clip, I said if you get a raise or job change, just make sure to update your W-4 information. But in this case, there was no change in income. Unfortunately, contributing to a Roth IRA are made with after-tax income, so there is no immediately tax advantage. However, it is still a smart move because all growth are within the account and can become untaxed as long as you follow the withdrawal rule. This means when you withdraw the money in your retirement, both the contribution and the earning are tax-free. Provided that you don't withdraw early. You have to start withdrawing your money when you are like, I believe you have to be 59. That's the only drawback, but it's also its advantage. Our objective with tax is to receive zero and owe zero. If you receive money back then, that's mean you are letting the government without more money from your check. We've watched and talked about how much you could owe. But what happens if you find yourself with a tax bill? The IRS doesn't play around. So it is important to know what step to take if you owe more than you can pay. So let's look into those options.
Of course I know what to do when you owe the IRS because I haven't always made the smartest financial decisions. All jokes aside, I know it's scary and intimidating when you have these IRS letters coming in saying that you owe them money. Number one, you do not want to ignore the fact that you owe the IRS money. So don't ignore those bills. You do need to deal with it. So how do you deal with it? You go in and you get yourself on a payment plan. So like medical bills or anything else, the IRS actually allows you to do a payment plan. And it's very simple to get these set up. You can call or go online to set up a payment plan with the IRS. Once you get put on a payment plan, you'll stop getting those scary, intimidating letters. You'll just get one reminder letter every month of the amount that's going to come out of your bank account, which you agreed upon for your payment plan. The payment plans can be spread out pretty far, so you can actually make that amount that you owe every month fairly low depending on what you owe. Just like any other debt, the last thing you want to do is ignore these IRS bills coming in. They're probably the most important bill not to ignore, actually, because they will take it right out of your paycheck. So go get yourself on that payment plan so you don't have to worry about them doing that.
Yeah, you should never ignore. You should never ignore. If you want your salary to start be garnishing, whoa. You should never ignore the IRS. Those penalty and interest can really add up fast. If you can pay off what you owe right away, that's really great. If not, just call them up and set up a payment plan. As long as the payment plan goes through, you'll be fine. It might take a while, but as long as you are paying off steadily, you are in a good standing with them. The question many of you might be asking, how do I stop from owing tax every year? One common suggestion is to claim zero dependent on your W-4 to ensure more tax are withheld throughout the year. I was also advised to set up $25 extra, but personally, I end up set up extra withholding, which end up being $45 for state, $45 for federal, and $25 for states. By tweaking with your withholdings and taking advantage of pre-tax deduction, you can significantly reduce your chance of owing tax every year. Here are a few tips to keep in mind when filing.
You should use TurboTax, but you should not pay TurboTax. What are you talking about? It's very simple. You should use a filing service like Free Tax USA or the IRS's Direct File or something that doesn't cost you an absurd amount of money to actually file your taxes, but you should use TurboTax as a way of confirming that the numbers that you have in your Free Tax USA, Direct File, whatever submission are correct before you submit them. And the reason that you should do this is because there's nothing stopping you from saying, yes, TurboTax, I do want to use your $400 expert option. And then when you go through and you say, okay, all of the numbers for my return look correct and they look the same as the ones on the free website that I'm secretly using, then what do? You go and you exit your TurboTax tab and you go and you continue filing / paying whatever on the free website. And the reason that you should do this is because we hate TurboTax. They are the reason that this is annoying every single year that we have to go pay our taxes this way. So the least you can do is abuse their services. Repeat after me. Abuse their services. Abuse their...
Yeah. What she's actually saying is actually pretty clever. It is a strategy some people use to ensure accuracy when filing for their taxes. First time I did all my taxes, it was pretty confused, so I decided to use all these other services to kind of cross-check and see if the number are matched. Some of you might ask, like, why use TurboTax or all these other services to check it? Like, what make it more right than the government option? If your return is simple, you could use Free Tax USA or Direct File. That might be efficient. However, if your return involves self-employment, investment, or all these other complex situations, TurboTax guidance can be worth that extra cost. Even though I say save money, that extra cost can be worth, but this is some of the tips you could use to kind of, if you want to double cross your numbers when filing tax, it's going to help tremendously. Always double check no matter which service you use. Take your time to review everything before you submit your return to avoid any mistake or any future potential audit. Always double check. We've reached the end of this video, and as always, guys, if you do like this type of content, I have more video like this on my channel. This is the part 4, part 5 I did, previous. I've already done like 3 or 4 video about, the tax. And if you do like that, those content, I'll leave some of the video. I don't know which side is going to be on. So make sure you just go check any other video on my channel. And as always, guys, stay safe and I'll see you in my next video.